really built the pyramids? What's on the dark? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Deep Theories podcast. Get ready to go off the rails on subjects that will have your mind racing. Who are the Majestic 12? Who really built the pyramids? What's on the dark side of the moon? What's the egg theory? Join us as we go off the rails on theories of the universe.
Hello. All right. Yeah, no bad words. Guest. Commentator. Well, welcome to Friday, thank God.
Fuck you, I still got another one tomorrow, dude.
Another Friday?
Work tomorrow, too.
Oh, gay. That is gay. Now it just feels like an extra Thursday.
And now it's live. Dark shit.
Well,
Anyways,
so welcome to the podcast today. All right, bye, Blake.
Well, bye.
Did you want to hit that?
Well, bye. Well, yeah.
So, how was your day? Have a good day? Great.
It was a pretty solid day, man.
Fantastic.
We didn't have to work, and any day I don't gotta work is a good day.
Oh, jealous.
Hey,
you
it's all
would.
fun and games, so I'll work Sunday.
Yeah,
that's fair.
that's fair. That's
my
that's
own
fair
fair.
day. Oh, yeah. Today sucked. Today was a weird day. Slow, rainy. No.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Come on in, folks. Well, I figured we were just.
Let's hear your bitch for the day.
No, today was a weird day, so we're gonna have a weird podcast. We're gonna do a little mind reading today, telepathy, telekinesis, kind of.
Have we had a normal?
Never.
Yeah, that one that didn't fucking record.
Yeah, there was one that.
Oh,
didn't
the one
record.
that didn't record.
There's
You're
like-
right. That was a really good one.
That was like a 3.5
That was a
hour
good one,
long.
yep. That was like
Yep,
some long.
that was
Yeah,
good.
that was great.
That was great. But today's
You
will be
suck.
today's will be
You
fun.
guys should have been
Today's
there.
will be good.
Should have been there. We were live.
Were we?
Yeah, we were live. But we were live, but we weren't recording.
Yeah.
Yes, let's just.
Yeah, we were live last week, but I just
Not last week.
not last week.
Not last week.
When? Oh, the first that one that didn't make it.
Yeah, the one that didn't make it.
Yeah, that
Three
was
was the one at your place. That was like 3.5.
That one was a
4
good
hours
one
long.
too.
we had the
It
train
was-
rolling pretty good
it
that
was-
day.
That we were wishy-washy though on that one, definitely.
That train was
We
definitely
were-
swing
We
we
took a
were-
few intermissions.
Well, that's a complete because of Dallas. Hey, can you come fix my door?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interrupted a few
Well,
times.
we also got on a few different tangents.
Well, but that's part of it.
I mean, we're on a tangent right now. I
thought-
do with
This
this.
is so bad for it. It's like, I knew you guys were gonna have to take an intermission, but it's like, I was just like, yo, let's go get milkshakes. I didn't expect the door to be broken. I was like, oh, this is all my fault. I did this. However, milkshakes.
Yeah, brown milkshakes.
I'm 61 boys of the yard.
Milkshakes, you bring all the boys to the yard. Especially my milkshakes.
So this week we're gonna kind of have a little bit of fun with stuff, kind of going off the last week's with like the Nostradamus and the Baba Vanga and
What's his
my
name?
Tar Tabara. And so we're gonna kind of piggyback off of that, and we're gonna attempt to stare at some goats. And I did say I was gonna attempt to read your guys' minds. So
You did say that, which
and like I said I was gonna attempt to. I didn't say I was going to. I was gonna attempt to.
what am I thinking right now?
I'm crazy.
I'm thinking right now.
I was actually thinking cheesecake.
Cheeseburger. Cheesecake does.
Okay.
I don't need it.
He actually like got my.
I'm with it. I don't need. Nobody needs cheesecake.
Whoa.
No, actually, nobody needs cheesecake.
He just did that.
Brian Shaw would disagree when he was on his diet for strongman. He would get one of the big Costco cheesecakes.
$12.
Was it necessary though?
Probably.
For his calorie count, yeah.
I could be, dude. I could fucking
You're
smash
telling
a
me
whole
he had
fucking
there's
bus
not
of
a
green
single
fire.
other thing he could have substituted. That would have been acceptable.
No. Because it was just empty calories. He had to just fill the calories.
She ordered crumble.
We're way off topic.
I was just saying, you guys want a cheesecake? Like a cheesecake.
So this whole like mind reading telekinesis. I mean, if you want to like trace it back, there really is no exact period of time when stuff like that originated. You know, it was definitely in the BC times. You know, Egyptians had their, whatever they called them. I can't think of the name right now for some reason. It just seers, I think is what they were called, like seers or whatever, that would advise them. And I mean, and it goes back.
I mean, yeah, because even like
Yeah.
they're
Way to go.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
literally starts with an O. Thinking of it early.
Oracles?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Bam! There we go.
So like, yeah.
So I mean, it goes back. So there really is no person to say, oh, this person came up with it, because it wasn't necessarily something that somebody created. It was just something that somebody was able to do or claim to do. So, okay.
West.
So it wasn't really necessarily a person. I think it was more of a.
Oracles were said to be given the power by God.
Yep. Like that's where a lot of people. Man.
Jabibus wasn't an alien. We've already proven that on a thing that we haven't posted.
I don't know if we posted it. That's
We didn't-
why I
we
gotta
didn't.
bring it up.
I mean, technically, to me, he would be an alien only because he's a person of foreign land. So if you want to get technical,
That's real racy, but
No,
okay.
And it was nice knowing.
Back in the day, like if you were an immigrant or something, you were, or you weren't here legally, you were an illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
So that's what I would.
Times have changed.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't say that now.
Now we call them
Refugees. Refugees.
Up your ass.
I don't know. Check one. There should be an empty one on the ninth block.
Actually, if anybody probably that joke there. That joke there, which were that we now call them refugees.
Ninja
Well, I mean,
skills.
if you, I'm not wrong at the same time because they're all running away from places that are viewed as worse than the Americas. Quote unquote.
Yeah.
So,
America.
well, Brad had made mention last week about the like the use of telekinesis, or being able to remote view, so to speak. He referenced the Mendosteric goats. It's definitely been of a tactical thing for a lot of people throughout time, because that was something that our military did back in the day, our government did. But, if you go back and you look at, like your Egyptians and Romans and all that, they had their oracles and stuff. They were all like a very high advisor to the, whoever was in power, whoever that ruler was at the time.
Absolutely.
No,
as I stated before, they were
something
literally said to be like the mouth of God.
Yeah, and that was something that heavily swayed and influenced how they may rule or how they did rule or what they would do based upon, whatever tricks, well, not tricks, but whatever, whether it was, reading,
How the organs
whatever.
laid out.
yeah,
the
yeah,
Greeks.
or the bones, or looking at a dish of water like Nostradamus, or a dish of oil, or your crystal ball, so to speak, the ones,
Crystal balls.
and then obviously you have your more mainstream, I guess stereotype would be the right word for it, of like mind reader, call me now, Miss Cleo, the old 1-900, number you could call back in the day. It was call Miss Cleo, and she would read your,
She'd read your
she'd
mind
tell
over
you,
the phone.
read your future to you over the phone. It's been used in carnivals, as like a sideshow attraction, over the years. So it went from something that was very, at one point in time, sought after,
Highly regarded.
yeah, highly regarded. The knowledge was just, of utmost value, more important than even gold itself, sometimes, or whatever their riches may be, to, it went from that to, I mean, in a short period of time, you could say, it went from, that to just all of a sudden like a sideshow attraction, something that people scoffed at, didn't take serious, just, oh, this is some hokey, mumbo jumbo bullshit, but I do believe that there's some validity in it. I think that there is also a lot of smoke and mirrors, so to speak, in it as well. Like power of suggestion, maybe. But nowadays it's kind of more of like a niche kind of thing. It's there's not a whole, you don't hear advertisements for, psychic readings. You don't see a whole lot of psychic readers, although I think there was one, or I don't know if there is still.
Dude, we
just
have 3 around
outside of
town. We have 3.
Well, there was one I always drove past every day to work, years back. There on M20, but
Yep. No, exactly.
and I think, isn't there one downtown, like around the herb store or the health store,
Yep.
organic place there, and
Yep.
and a lot, you can't. I'm gonna say probably a vast majority of them out there, are just in it for the money.
Yeah.
There's probably nothing to what they're doing other than, simple parlor tricks or power of suggestion, kind of stuff, or, just like your cold reading guy, that was talking to the people that were passed away.
Yeah.
What was his name? John something or other. But so there's a lot of them. I'm gonna say a majority of them are probably not legit, but then there's the ones that kind of blow your mind, like the one dude, like the one guy that we were just watching earlier, IMX. That was a pretty interesting whole thing right there in itself, because to be able, just to see the crowd's reaction and their reactions, and how, when, okay, if I touched your side, raise your right hand, and both of them raised their right hand, only one person was being touched. So there was like almost like that legit connection there.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's probably something to it, but at the same time, you're leaning way more towards like, holy shit, this motherfucker is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he just blew my mind, but there is also that little bit that's like, is there something else to it? And that's what I'll attempt to do, later on, something down to that nature where, is there something to it or isn't there?
Right. I'm
So,
gonna make one argument for that.
What's that?
Money.
What do you mean money?
Money.
Well, see, I'm not making any money today, so
No.
I have nothing to gain from it other than.
Nah,
But a lot of them
I
out there do
understand
it
that.
for that.
I
exact
understand
reason.
that, but yeah,
money. It's a
super
monetary
easy.
game.
Hey, no, I'm saying
Oh.
like he could have been like, hey, you're doing this to the two people.
Oh, okay. Kind of gave him a heads up first, you know. Okay. You know, that could be
It's
just
TV. It's
yeah. Oh, it's
entertainment.
production. Yeah, absolutely. It's entertainment.
Right.
Yeah, even the people that you see that are on these, you know, like a reality show, like Storage Wars.
Right.
You know, when they show people or they're on like another show or whatever, they'll say, you know, actor.
Right.
You know, actor in a reality show. I thought these were regular people. They're not, you know. So yeah, you know, there's definitely, you know, definitely a monetary, you know, thing to, or you know, something to stoke that fire.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, you ever do any of those like psychic readings or mind reading things at like a carnival or?
I would love to.
See, I did one once.
Just to see.
I did one once at it was like the Mecosta County Fair, I think, over in Big Rapids, a whole lifetime ago. Shit, I probably was a teenager in that time, so a long time ago. But
Ages ago.
yeah.
We already knew.
But I did one of those. I did one of those mind reader things there. You know, that psychic telling thing. You know, I sat down. You know, and she was like reading my palm, and you know, something to do with like the lines on my forehead, and you know, and some other, you know, the hokey pokey shit she was doing, and I had like this whole like 3-page stuff that, you know, she was, you know, writing down, you know, and I'm just like, okay, you know, this is kind of interesting. For the life of me, I can't find it. I've looked for it for years because it was always something that intrigued me. So it was like, okay, you know, this was 20 years ago. You know, so, you know, I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested to see what it would say. Now, do you think Ouija boards are something like that?
No.
Completely different.
Ouija boards are said to tap into the spirit realm,
Okay.
and they're not made for entertainment purposes. I
No.
mean, like anybody doing that, if they're doing it together, it's more of a psyche. I think it's more of a psychic thing of everybody being together.
Interesting. I'll continue.
But it is said to open a door to the spirit realm to have conversations with spirits and those who have gone beyond. As somebody that doesn't believe in that stuff, I would wager that it's more than likely the people doing it having some sort of muscle connection and moving it together to make out what they all want to hear.
Okay, now I'll tell you my story. I played the Ouija board once, only once. And I was asking it questions in the future.
You're asking it questions in the future?
What was going to happen to it?
I asked how old I was going to be when I died. I asked how old I was going to be when I quit smoking cigarettes. Or when I quit smoking. Because that was something my mom wanted me to ask. And then I asked it who I was going to marry. Now, the people that were there were myself, my mom, and 2 of my friends from high school. To cover their names, I'll call them Misty and Bill. And my buddy Jay was
The
there.
most redneck names ever.
And my buddy Jay.
Bill.
and my buddy Jay. Yeah. So and my buddy Jay was there. So and the 3 of us that were doing the Ouija were myself and Misty. Did I say Misty?
Misty and Bill.
And
Misty,
Bill.
Bill, and Jay.
Okay, so it was
Got
myself,
real
Misty,
redneck
and
here.
Bill.
He's the one that
So-
thought of the names.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come up with names of like a different name. Try to be like, oh shit, am I gonna be able
You're
to
telling
remember?
this to the
So anyhow,
person that
yeah,
makes hundreds of names a
yeah,
week.
true, good idea. So the three of us are doing that. My mom and my buddy Jay are like just kind of watching, and this thing was straight up. Without, because I don't want to say, well, I asked it when I was going to quit smoking. It said 86. And then I asked how old I was going to be when I die, and it said 86. I asked it who I was going to marry. It said something that was rather absurd, but then years later would actually make sense. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that detail and put that out because that's just a fucked up story. So, anywho, unfortunately, that affects too many people. I don't want to say names or anything like that and such. So, but it was legit, and I can
also
everybody
vouch
here
for
is
it.
vouch
I-
for it as
yeah,
well. So.
I
So how do you
definitely-
explain something like that? Because that was something that came true. Obviously, two things haven't, thank God. Well, I mean,
You're also not 86 yet.
I'm not 86 years old. I'd like to
Yeah.
quit smoking before I'm 86, because I'd like
You
to make it
haven't yet,
past that
though.
number. So,
You haven't yet. though.
yeah, someday. Someday.
We're hoping.
Give it time.
You
Right?
still got
We're
Hey,
giving
I'm
you
only
till 86.
Shoot, I'm only halfway in. I'm only halfway in. So we're okay.
Yeah.
I still got the second half of my life to just,
Hopefully.
do shit better and right and stuff. But when stress shit goes down, it'll be different.
Hopefully we're just.
So how do you explain something like that actually coming?
Again,
Or do you think that's just coincidental?
pure fucking luck.
or I believe again it's what
Because I can guarantee.
I think again it's something to do with the people holding it here, doing stuff that they want to hear.
Well, two out of those I could make sense of, but one of those, not a single person in that room would want that.
Yeah, you kind of got me there.
Self included. Let's see. I can tell you, she would have. Let's see. We would have. Fucking. What year would this have been?
Could have, who was doing it?
Myself, Bill,
And Misty.
and
Misty.
Misty.
Okay, so you're telling me that Bill and Misty couldn't be like up to joking and pranking your ass?
No, that wasn't ever anything that was never, because see, that would have been 1996. So let's see. So yeah, no. Nobody would have. No.
Next argument would be that our world is a bunch of formulas. It's gonna add up and make what it wants. Because how? My argument to you would be, how would this? Let's say it is a spirit. How would the spirit know?
That's
You're
what I'm
telling me
saying.
you're telling me spirits live at all time, all at once?
Depends on
No,
what
do you
it
think
is.
maybe?
I don't
Do
believe
you think
spirits.
maybe one of
It's
the
kind of
three
my-
people were
my
able
argument
to?
you.
Do you think one of the three people were able to somehow predict something like that, or like maybe the collective of those three people maybe just being in tune with just simply
Moving your
focusing, and just having your hands as still as possible on that thing? Was there maybe like some kind of, because you got to be in close proximity.
Yeah, I
Everybody
think
says
there was
that
some sort of
there's an
connection,
aura around
and
everybody.
in your life, you're gonna subconsciously look to make those things come true.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna look for that to come. No.
Not in the way it did, but not.
I mean,
but
because that
not
was
in the
even
tradition.
random happenstance.
Okay, not in the
That-
traditional way. But my
True.
thing is
You maybe think
My thing
subconsciously
is
it was there.
But you didn't think about it. You didn't think about the fact that of her initials until later.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So you
until,
were
like,
looking for that. You
so
never
So
actually.
you think it was a subconscious thing?
I think you are putting a. I think you put a. I think you may have put a subconscious thing on it, or you're putting intentions and then labels on something that doesn't actually truthfully hold that. I do not believe, even if spirits exist, in any interpretation that I understand spirits in, does it make sense that it would be able to tell you your future? In no sense have I ever seen
What if,
like that.
what if
actively
you weren't
make
tapping
sense.
into spirits and you're actually tapping into maybe a different dimension, different, alternate universe or reality or something like that?
And then I'd go back to you that our world is just a bunch of formulas. Because our worlds are obviously connected in some way, that means they can reach out to us. We can reach out to them, and that's something that we should focus on more.
Makes sense.
But my thing is that we're not focusing on that.
No.
If that shit wasn't a hoax, don't you think our scientists
Would have
and
been
our
able to.
bigger brained people would be focusing on that
Well, there you go.
and tapping into that?
I
Or
mean,
do you think it's a bunch of sham trying to
See, part
mess
of
with
me
these
buys into some of it. Other parts of me go, that sham, obvious sham, And then there's another part of me that, goes, show me the proof. Show me the scientific, irrefutable proof that backs up the claim.
My thing is, show me the proof, and then I will consider it not a sham.
Exactly. So those are all three things that
And
I feel and think at the same time, so.
If something hasn't been proven to me to work and consistently work correctly, it is a sham.
That makes sense. I mean,
Because where are you going in this world at this point that hasn't had somebody fucking die near it, by it, on it? Where are you going? There's not very many places.
everywhere you're walking probably has had something.
Someone die.
Well, I mean, you're talking people,
Yeah.
like a human. Okay.
Well, I mean, you can
There's
attempt
been
to
living organism dying everywhere.
Yeah. But we're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to interact with other ones. I mean, we maybe, but it has yet to be seen this far. I mean, people have said to have seen old dogs and cats. I've heard stories of those.
Now, right before my car accident, when I was a teenager, I saw a shadow person running next to me.
We had
In
this
the car.
conversation.
Yeah, that was one of the
tripping.
That was one of the ones that.
I was sleep deprived, dude. That was 70.
And that was
that was
like a 4-hour-long good one.
Yeah.
I was up for 3 days straight.
You was tripping balls.
Yeah, I was on sleep deprivation and hallucinating, and then I woke up,
That's a
probably
common
dreaming
thing.
of my grandmother, because that's what I heard wake me up, was my grandma saying, "James, wake up," in this very my grandma had a very soft voice, but when she changed that tone and was trying to get your attention, full different. I cannot even attempt to, but
No, we want to hear it right now, James.
No,
Give
no.
it to us.
no,
You
I
have
cannot.
to do it.
No, I
You
cannot.
have to do it.
You have to do it.
My grandma was she was 4'10" German, she didn't speak German, but she was German. Her parents were German. Her parents came over from,
Germany.
yeah, sorry. No, I was trying to think of. I was trying to think of the place there. What is it?
The thing at the place at the time
Was
was
it
it
Belle Isle or wherever? No, not Belle. Where they came in on the that place there by New York, wherever.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to
Okay.
think of. The actual. I want to say Belle Isle, but I know that's not right. I wish I could remember what the name of it was. But anywho, somebody will fact check it, I'm sure. But
My hands are busy. Oh yeah.
but Yeah, I'm gonna. Part of me wants to believe though that it was because my grandmother had passed away not too long prior. So part of me wants to believe that
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Sorry,
thank
I
you.
had to stop thinking about it for a second.
No,
Never
that was
mind.
perfect. So
Even Google wasn't helping, so I was gonna do that. I was just about to just start doing the same thing you did. But Google.
damn you, Googles.
Googles. Googles.
That
Gooey
one
Gals.
island over in New York that the people came through. Hey Google, what's that? Staten Island?
That's what I wanted to say, and I knew that wasn't.
Oh, I wish you would have.
No, I didn't want to. I've said enough damn things. So what kind of stuff? I know you had some. You were showing me some pretty intriguing.
I'm mine are just counters. I'm just here, bro.
He's here to.
Oh no, I want to hear it, like, because I'm interested. Because, like I said, I don't necessarily. Excuse me. I don't necessarily think that I can't say 100% like, yeah, this person's a mind reader, or wow, this person's psychic, or something like that.
Okay, so
I think people can be very intuitive.
that's kind of exactly my stance. I don't think anybody can actually tell you, sit there and tell you. I don't think anybody actually sits there and speaks to the gods. I don't think anybody actually can tell you what it is going to happen in the future, due to the simple fact of, like, the fate lines just doesn't work like that. From my understanding,
I think it's all, but part of me wants to believe it though. There's always that, and I think that's the human nature, is to want to believe or want to hope, for something, but it definitely, these are like the scale, it's like a 90-10 kind of thing.
Yeah, and arguably, I think that aspect of us wanting to hope and believe and hang on to that is honestly what keeps them around. I also think that that is why they were so highly regarded until we started understanding technology and the happenstance that stands behind technology.
So what about it, to kind of go back into last week, we'll use Maitar Tarbarash, without me trying to like actually roll my tongue and stuff.
With me butchering.
That one is insanely accurate. And when I say it, like I you can chalk up Nostradamus and even Baba Vanga, to like, oh, okay, that's just kind of coincidental because of your wording and how it's interpreted. But he named, his were very specific.
He didn't name anything. But
well, he didn't really necessarily name anything, but like his were very, there was enough
his
there.
were very detailed. I will give you that. However, what I will tell you again is our world is made of formulas.
So he took that formula.
He studied the patterns of the universe. He studied the patterns of human society, and he was very intuitive and in tune with his God, quote unquote God.
Mm-hmm.
He was very in tune with himself. He was very in tune with the world. He was obviously a very, I don't know whether he was very well read or if he was very well conversed.
Yep.
Thank you. But either way, he had to have had a lot of influence and understanding of how the world worked, and he made his predictions from that.
Do you think he used mathematics?
I definitely think that's part of the equation, yes.
Because I can do a simple one. I'll have Brad do this.
What?
Let's do it together.
Well,
you guys can.
Yeah, we'll do it together.
All right, so what you're gonna do is pick, or I mean, you can write it down, you can circle it on the calendar or whatever. Pick 3 days that are all together. So, like, for example, 2, 3, 4, but you want to pick 3 and then add them all up. And then I got it because you're gonna tell. You guys are probably both gonna tell me your numbers. So
No, we're doing the same one. We're doing it together.
oh, okay. So add them all up, and what's that come to?
I forgot which ones we're doing. I don't know what you just flashed at me, but you could just say it.
Oh, are we telling you?
Yes,
Yeah.
tell me.
Oh, God
Yep,
damn
yep.
it.
You can tell me
84.
84. All right.
That takes the fun out of it.
That's the whole. But that's the point of it. He's supposed to guess what 3 numbers we had out of 80. Out of that.
That's not that hard.
Yeah. That's what we're about to find out, though.
Right. So give me a
We'll
minute.
find the median from there.
What?
Yeah.
You can't do it in your head.
No,
Do it in your
I.
head.
It's 84. Do it in your head. 84.
Do it in
Give
your
me
head.
1 second here.
Got math.
I've already done it.
You know. You're like, oh, your fucking teammate wiped your ass.
Your numbers are 27, 28, 29.
There you go.
Sorry, I had to actually think for a moment.
Oh, I was counting.
So, and that obviously were your 3 dates that you picked on the calendar, right?
Yeah.
So simple mathematics on that
You pick
one,
3 days, you just divide
and
by
then you
3,
divide by
that
3,
gives-
you get your median, and then
Oh,
your
no, 27, 28, 29.
so, so that one's just a simple math, simple math one.
Most of them simple math tricks.
Well, yeah, and that's
Absolutely.
how a lot of those go.
Well, I mean,
So definitely because that's a pattern. You're using mathematics. You're using that as your pattern to change.
Hello? Hello?
We'll be out in a while.
Hello?
So you think? So you definitely think that he was using his intuition, reading the patterns in things, going, okay, well, we got regular telephones. The next thing would be, some kind of, be walking around on a telephone.
I missed that. I just
He was one that predicted,
yeah,
like people walking around, like predicted like televisions,
Yep.
watching a box,
Cell phones.
and I, you can definitely see how when that guy was alive, technology and the world was definitely changing. We were in the industrial age,
Right.
in the industrial era. We were manufacturing, starting to get like manufacturing going and stuff like that. So you could see, and I'm sure for that time, things were moving technologically as quick as what we feel like it's moving now.
right.
Because within like a matter of 5 years, it went from mostly, well, it was still a lot of horseback for transportation, but then all of a sudden you had vehicles now.
Yeah,
And then you had like motorcycles, and so in a very short period of time, you went from you could only go as far and as fast as your horse could get you there, or your horse is, to I don't need a horse.
Right.
This
Now
doesn't
we-
stop.
we in a couple hundred years we got to I don't even need a car. I can just fly there.
Yeah. People are, they're getting on electric bicycles now. They don't even have to pedal. They get on something that just looks like what they would normally have rode back, before. Now we got flying cars that are starting to, hit production and
Right, and they were
hit the
predicting
market.
that stuff in like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
Earlier than that. I'm
Oh, they were
retarded.
predicting that.
No, way earlier than
Yeah.
that.
yeah, they were predicting flying cars.
Colors of the future.
Didn't Orson Welles predict that? And if I'm not mistaken, in the Time Machine that he wrote, when he went into the future and
I don't
predicted,
remember.
people would, have flying cars and they would no longer suffer from blah blah blah. But he also went back in time and, or what in the book, but
No idea.
so there's definitely been a lot of, predictions on it.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's so crazy about one getting him white?
Well, there's been quite a few over time getting things right, but just not. Nobody's ever been perfectly right. Like you said, there's nothing that's like even Maitar. He didn't get them all right.
Right.
He got some right, and the ones he did, again,
We're
could
piecing
be-
and puzzling.
yeah, you could interpret it a different way, and maybe it is meant for this person and not this.
Right.
So there's definitely a sway there, on that part,
On all parts. Mm. For me.
right?
Yeah.
Let's see. No, this one isn't necessary. I mean, well, again, this one is kind of a pattern one. So pick a number between 1 and 50. That number has to be odd. Both digits have to be odd. Is your number 37?
No,
What's your number?
19.
All right, so you went for the teens. Most people don't go for the teens, they forget them. Earlier, I got Justin on it. He was like, wait a minute. But because most people, when you say there's got to be two numbers, it kind of rules out. First off, when you say it's got to be an odd number, you can't use anything 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8.
The
And
funny
then,
thing is I had that number picked before you started listing the restrictions.
and then
Okay.
and then you tell them,
Okay.
both digits have to be odd. So because you said both, you're gonna think 2. So most people are gonna go 2 and go, wait, 2's even. So they're just gonna go 1 up to 3, and 7 is just usually the most common thing, because I'm one of those that believes 7's the answer to everything, no matter how you do it. But,
Seven's just my lucky number, so it's always in.
so it's a number that's, and everybody knows 7's an odd number. So, and you say that both digits can't be the same. Oh, that was the other thing. Both digits can't be the same. So then you rule out 11, 33, so most people are going to go 37. So that one's just simply, just kind of an intuition thing. Brad threw the
No,
curve
that's
off
luck.
on that.
That's just luck.
It's luck, but it's also, you're kind of leading people to the number because you're
Attempting
ruling
to.
out, because it's supposed to be a 3-step process, and I screwed it up and made it only a 2-step. That's why you want to do the 3, and then again 7 is just most common. So, but Brad threw the curve off.
My birthday's on the 19th.
Fair enough. So there's definitely a lot of guesswork in it, so to in layman's terms.
Yeah.
A lot of guesswork in it.
No, I mean, yeah, that's all it is, arguably. I mean, like, even one of the biggest books wrote on it, I Ching, or I Ching.
I haven't heard of.
No?
No.
It's like the Book of Change or something like that.
Is this like a rather old book, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Confucius was one of the transcribers in it.
Okay, that would make sense.
Confucius, a man with hole in pocket has friend for life.
Yeah, the Book of Change. It was made by I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna slaughter it.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Fuxi. That's his name.
Fushi.
Fushi.
Yeah. Something like that. Created it, and then also created the original symbol, which everybody pretty much knows nowadays, which is the yin and yang. And then also it's but like didn't take very many minutes, but like basically it just had like the notations of his findings and their findings. But my whole point of it is that even in there, they kind of just they kind of tell you that it's up to your interpretation because it's fueled by your life experiences.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That would be an. I'm sorry. I was just thinking. I was like, oh, I might actually need to read this fucking book.
It seems
Huh.
to be pretty interesting from what I have on it,
But again, that's kind of.
and I can go deeper if you want. But
Well, I
I don't
mean,
know how much of them you guys just want.
well, I mean, wouldn't you be able to kind of say that's kind of down
I got
the
us
lines
covered.
of, reading, kind of reading the room, or using intuition, or
What's that?
the book and what the authors are saying about
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah, it's but like that is itself is like an exploratory thing of oneself as well, though,
Okay.
because a lot of the symbols is like you're trying to find meaning and and you're trying to find like a lot of times it's used to try to find your path in life. So it's kind of it's kind of all touching on both of the subjects here, which is like looking into the future and it's kind of at the same time using your own intuition.
Okay.
So it is both, I would argue.
Okay. Makes sense.
That is a common form of doing it, kind of like tarot cards. It is one
That's
of the
something
more
I never.
known things.
That's something I don't know a whole lot about. That's one thing
Tarot cards.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about tarot
Pretty
cards.
much tarot cards it was a parlor game that pretty much upgraded the cards because people were using them to do parlor tricks, and people their futures and their lives using the cards. But when they would flip up the it was like the nines, I think. There's nines and like something else. But they were really hard to tell what it like. It wasn't like very leading into a descriptor
Okay.
esque like way. So they were having a hard time describing like, oh, this was what happened in your life. So instead, they made elaborate artworks for it.
Okay.
Actually, I have the person.
Interesting. Because that's always something that's intrigued me because to me that's it's not something that's staged or pre-planned. It's just simply turning just random cards. But it's also something the only thing I read about it is what little bit I was reading, and of course I was on like Reddit or some shit like that reading crap, so you can't believe a damn thing you read there. But there were a lot of people that were like, hey, this, I got this tarot card reading, and it actually, this actually
Can't
happened.
find good information,
But I think if you're told something, like you said, earlier about me, I think that it's going to be that power of suggestion. It's going to be on your mind, and it may be something you go after.
Can I ask you some first? Oh wait,
You can ask personal questions.
No, I'll ask him off camera. He didn't. Yeah. Yeah, no. We'll ask her.
I can mute it real quick.
Go ask her off camera. No, it's not important. Ask her.
Then that's why we can't have nice things.
Well,
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna play a quick game of hot potato with you.
Yep, dude.
Try to do something.
Hot
Fuck shit up. That's how this entire day has went. Just a fucking shit show.
Anyways,
Yum.
All right, so we left off at, we'll ask a question off camera.
Would you be already with Hot Pocket sponsoring us?
Hot Pocket Monster, I'm straight for sure. The hot monster pocket right there.
Rip it.
Maybe you can.
Blue tab.
F-bomb.
Yeah, if Rip It wants to
So,
sponsor us, that'd be
I
great.
don't know if you're. I don't know if you have anything else.
Not sure where we were going.
I have a way to lead us if you.
The only other thing I was gonna do was, I had one more.
Mind read us.
Okay, I'm still kind of on the subject here.
Nope. So we'll continue with that.
Of the conversation we were talking about.
Tarot
So-
cards when they came about and all that.
Huh?
Like the tarot cards.
Well, looking into the future, really.
Mhm.
So another, I guess, practice
Mhm.
of trying to find the future, find your way, Taoism, which is basically a form of meditation to find the center of you and the universe. To find, it emphasizes harmony with the natural balance and order of the universe.
Okay.
And it's supposed to lead you towards your right path. So basically, it's the form of giving up all of your senses and releasing it to the world for a long period of time to connect and be in one with the harmony of the universe.
Similar
What
to
exactly does that
meditation.
mean? Huh? But yeah, meditation.
Meditation.
Ripping apart what that means.
You're using your own body's energy to tap into.
Where you should be going.
So you're essentially using yourself as a dowsing rod.
Yourself and
Probably where the term came from, that you were.
yourself
Yeah,
and the universe.
Taoism came from dowsing rods.
Yeah.
No, I was using it as like a metaphorical. Well, a dowsing rod will, point you, where. So you're essentially using yourself as like, the dowsing rod as like the.
They view it
Little
more
homing
as
beacon.
you're more of like a grounding rod.
That's what a dowsing rod essentially is. It's just two copper, rods that you hold like this, and you walk, and when they cross, like they'll just cross on their own as you're just holding them. Like when you get over a spot where you should, hey, there's water here, or it'll pick up metal,
Different magnetic frequencies.
and yeah, it'll pick up different magnetic frequencies and shit like that. And they're dude, like farmers have been using that shit for fucking ever. That's how they would find where to put a well down. They would, do that,
Tell me
figure
how
out.
these are similar. Is it just because they're copper?
No, because like your person standing there, you're grounded. You have the copper grounding rod, so it's or the copper rod, so you're essentially making grounding rods. So that's why I was trying to how I was trying to make the connection to.
Well, my thing is they feel as though you have to let yourself be guided by the universe. Is kind of my thing, though. Where you're
so
like,
you gotta let go of
you're
control,
like
control.
you're using a tool that is trying to find a pinpoint access. Is your thing? They're not trying to pinpoint anything.
So
they're
when you're-
trying. It feels, or to me, it seems as they're trying to become one with the universe and listen to what it tells them.
When they're meditating, right?
Correct.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, I could see how. Because I've tried to meditate like a few times. I won't lie, I've tried to.
Mhm.
Very difficult in this house.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
sure they can
there
hear
is
it.
no fucking.
Yeah, I'm sure they. I was just gonna say, I'm sure they can tell.
No, I mean like the cars going by. There's just nowhere you can be somewhere quiet enough to just, like you said, just be able to kind of let go and become in tune with the universe. tough to do here, but I've tried, and I can see how people could not get a vision, but maybe a feeling would be a better word for it. You know, of like what to do, where to go. You know, whether it be your conscience, which to me is what I thought it was or what I chalked it up to, because I'm just like, yeah, it's my conscience telling me what I need to do, and
Your subconsciousness, yeah.
well, see, I said my Jiminy Cricket kind of,
Jimmy Jam the Cricket.
Okay.
with Jimmy Jam,
Consciousness
Jimmy Jam shoulder man
is like okay. What people call the consciousness though is like people that make those jokes. It's basically just your subconscious reaching out to you.
It could be. I mean, that's it's probably more or less the case, but because I mean, I totally believe your subconscious will steer you in the right fucking direction, whereas your conscious mind will fucking lead you, you know, down all kinds of different shits.
Not necessarily true. Because conscious mind is your active thinking. Subconscious mind is your passive
Have you done a lot of driving?
thinking. Yeah.
You ever been driving and then just kind of go, holy fuck, how did I get here? Like, holy shit, I don't remember the last, like, 3 blocks, 2 miles, or whatever. You ever had that happen to you?
Yeah. All the time.
How many
Okay.
drugs?
Did you hit anything?
No.
Did you hit anything? Did you get there? You know, but you don't recall it. You cannot recall it. You don't remember doing it. You don't know how you did it, but you did. That's your conscious mind going sleepy, but your subconscious keeps you going. I used to fucking do that shit all the time driving because, you know, I'd fall asleep driving and shit. My subconscious mind just knew the trip and the route so well that
Yeah, I never fall asleep because
I did
like
that a lot.
I remain very alert while I drive, and I know that. But I definitely have an issue where like I'll just because like I don't know
blocks down the road. Shit, did I stop for that?
But
Stop
yeah.
sign?
yeah, but like yes, exactly.
Mhm.
But like that's also because like a lot of the times my brain cuts off information that is just not necessary anymore. I
Yeah,
know
but-
that of me.
but that's your conscious mind checking out. It's,
No, it's-
kind
it's-
of not
it's-
checking out. It's
It's
just
my
elsewhere.
subconscious mind getting rid of the memories I don't need.
But your subconscious is what's driving you. Literally, it's what's controlling you. Because if your conscious doesn't remember it, then your conscious body didn't do it. It was your subconscious that was doing it for you. Because your
Not a lot of the
subconscious
times
will not
that
allow
happens.
you to hurt yourself.
Not a lot.
Try
of
to
times.
bite through your hand. Try to bite
Well, I
through a
understand
finger.
that,
Try to.
but-
You can't, like, your subconscious won't let. It'll stop.
That's
you
your
from,
conscious mind,
That's pain tolerance.
which is a constant mind thing.
No,
yeah.
because your conscious mind is saying, okay, going into it with the intentions, I am going to try to bite through my hand or my finger. It's your subconscious that will not allow you to cause
That
harm
is
to
your pain
yourself.
tolerance.
Just like people when they get hypnotized, you can't like truly
That's not
hypnotize
your
someone
subconscious.
to hurt themselves. You can hypnotize a person to hurt someone else, but not yourself. Because your subconscious mind is more powerful and it just, you can't, your subconscious will prevent that. I think your subconscious mind is in more control most of the time than your conscious.
That could be true because I mean, do you think about breathing?
Maybe not more in control, but more active.
Sometimes when I'm fucking breathing heavy, like, fuck, I'm fat. Why am I breathing so hard? But no,
Yeah, but, like-
not remembering to do it.
See, I think maybe,
I mean,
maybe,
okay, you do make. I guess I could make a stronger
or at
argument.
least
You're
more
probably right.
active. I think people's subconscious is more active than their conscious.
I definitely agree with that as a whole.
Because there's no other way I can explain it, because like consciously I'm not trying to remember everything around me, but my subconscious mind will, and I can say, oh yeah, that person this was wearing that, you know, that photographic part, I can, you know, like this is that, this is this, you know, and but my conscious mind wasn't trying to pay attention to it, but I can go back to my subconscious, you know, like almost a meditative state, you know, kind of really concentrate on it and see the whole fucking thing.
I also think brains work differently. It just depends on how your brain works. arguably, like they're just it's just a scientific fact. Like so it does depend on your brain type on how that actually works, but I do agree to that on a level.
All right. So my next thing I'll try to read your mind is going to be a little more complex. You're going to have to do some math. So you may need a phone. You're going to have to know your alphabet.
I don't know the alphabet. I'm fucked.
So
We'll work together.
but on the upside, you only got to pick a number between 1 and 10
Right now,
right now.
And we already know the number.
No, you don't have to be a number that I'm gonna make you do math, and don't worry, it has nothing to do with the number.
Pick a number 1 through 10, and then we're gonna do all these things off of that number.
Okay.
That's basically what he just said, but it has nothing
Nope.
to do with the number you pick.
Oh, the numbers have nothing to do with it. See. All right, here we go.
so was I not supposed to enter that in the calculator?
So you're gonna pick a number between 1 and 10
Was I supposed to enter it in the
Hang on.
calculator?
and multiply it by 2.
Okay.
So yes, use your calculator or use your brain. Now add 8 to that. Yep. Now you're gonna add 8. Now divide that number by 2. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to subtract your original number now from that, what you just got from your answer. Okay. All right. Now take that number, and now we're going to convert that into a letter corresponding with the alphabet. So like A is 1, B is 2, so on and so forth. Okay. Got your number? Great. Now, think of a country that starts with that letter. Okay, got your country?
Yep.
Skip one letter ahead now. Pick an animal that starts with that letter.
Should I be ready this time?
Now think about the color of that animal. Got it? Is it a gray elephant in Denmark?
What the fuck? Yeah. It has something. It has
It is
Correct.
exactly the number.
Has everything to do with the numbers.
Okay.
Okay, here's the trick on this one. No matter how you do your math, you're always going to come up to 4.
Uh-huh.
Your answer is always going to be 4. Fourth letter of the alphabet, D. When you tell people to pick a country that starts with that letter, most people are going to think Denmark.
I was gonna do Dominican Republic.
Move one. That's a good one, but I don't know. Is that a country?
Yeah.
It's a republic.
So no. I'm just retarded.
I'm sure there's a few out there, but and then move one letter ahead. Pick an elephant. Or pick a letter. It's gonna be E. You're gonna pick an animal. It's most people E. You're gonna think elephant. Gray elephant in Denmark.
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
Still an E. Still elephant.
Yeah.
Still gray.
But he'd be wrong about one thing at least.
Right.
That would be enough for me.
So I mean, but that's a little more fun one, where that one you can kind of really trip people out. Be like,
That's
well,
cool.
how'd you but so it's a simple little parlor trick on that
No,
one.
that
there.
makes sense.
And again, it truly is. I mean, that one, I didn't want to tell you it was. Yeah, it's about the number. So
You literally should have told us it wasn't about the number.
but it is, but it isn't.
Literally everything.
It's not necessarily about the number because everything else is just, like I hope to God they pick Denmark. If they pick Denmark, hopefully they
Okay,
pick
but
an
my thing
elephant
is-
and not an eel.
My thing is
It's all about the numbers because the numbers get you to the part where you want them to pick a D.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some leading around, but yeah, it
yeah,
does.
but like in like the that's the biggest. That's the biggest country that I can think of that starts with an E.
So
I mean, and then they think about it, and then elephants. I mean, we're thinking of elephants is probably one of the biggest emu, like rare, weird animals starting with E. Like the elephant's going to be one of the top ones there. So it's just a statistic-based formula.
because an elephant's the most common thing for an E.
Correct. Plus, look at most children's books. What does E stand for?
E for elephant. D for dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Now, see, I tried this on Cole last night. I
Oh,
wanted to.
Jesus.
I wanted to see how he did. He didn't. He didn't get Denmark.
what do you get?
He didn't really know what to pick, so we had to. I just basically had to tell him the trick. Because he could. I was just like,
He
damn.
doesn't know any countries that
I was
start with
just
a
like,
D.
really? I was just like, okay.
And that's the good one.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, I could have tried doing something different. Like, you know, I could have told him to pick a state that starts with a D, Denver.
That's not a state.
Oh no, that's or I'm sorry, it's
It's a city.
that's a city. Yeah, shit.
Colorado.
Well, fuck,
Exactly. Delaware.
Delaware. That would work too. Donkey or something. Donkey and an elephant. Great. Oh, see, there you go. Donkeys are great. And when I think gray donkeys, I think of the Shrek.
What? State?
Yeah.
So, do you want me to attempt to read your mind?
Let's go.
So, all right, here. I'll get
Bring
you
it
some
on.
pens.
I have an ink pen.
Well, you're big, eh?
Yeah, fucking man. We all have fucking need them for work. So,
Business.
Have some ink pens ready on.
oh, look at that. Speaking of business.
Hey, speaking
They're
of
for your
business,
parts.
Didn't think this out very well, did I?
I was talking shit to some of the guys down in the warehouse the other day when I was delivering parts.
Ours.
Yeah.
Who were you talking to?
Aiden and whoever the other two people were. I don't know. The only one I know is Aiden. And I only know that because he comes into the store.
Gotcha. Yeah, Aiden's pretty cool.
Aiden was learning how to do forklift.
Oh yeah,
One dude was running his mouth. I'm the best
All
one
right,
here.
here's your paper.
Josh,
I don't know.
skinny guy.
I no.
Nope.
Kind of like me, maybe a little bit taller. But he was just running his mouth. I'm like, yeah, that's because I don't work here. Well, where's your forklift license?
So
It
fold
expired
yours in
because
half
I didn't
again.
need it for the last two jobs because they didn't care.
Brad, fold yours in half again.
Said,
That way
hey,
you
you
can
didn't say I
kinda-
had to do work.
Well, that way you can kind of use it as, you know, something to block, you know, so I can't possibly. And I'm gonna have my back to you anyways, but don't do anything yet. So,
You can't get me all excited and give me a piece of paper and not expect me to draw wieners.
Well, we all know what Brad's gonna be drawing. All right, what's we doing?
all right.
Right.
So
Bring it on.
I am going to
Turn your back to us.
no,
Turn
I
your back
gotta-
to us. You said your back was gonna be turned.
Better turn that back.
I still see ya.
I still see your faces.
Yeah, you guys can still see what I'm writing. So
You want us to turn our
Nope.
backs to you?
Nope. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm
Here
gonna
you
go
go.
back
We're
here.
gonna go back to back together.
I'm gonna.
Go finish a half cigarette.
So,
So he's just gonna go behind us,
And he's gonna, yep.
and he's gonna go out of the earshot of the mic.
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into the other room here and close that door, and then
gotta close
I
the
will
door, that's
ask
extra.
you to do things through the door. Obviously, the camera's not gonna hear me.
the camera's not
The
gonna
camera's
hear
not
you.
gonna fucking hear me. Shit, I might not
Oh,
hear me. I forgot
There's a camera. Wait, what do we get?
All right, so you guys obviously you can't hear me saying anything on there, so you're not going to be able to hear me write down anything. So I'm going to attempt to
Yeah, I'll attempt to. Oh, this is gonna suck. I gotta turn that off.
You also want to move that down a little bit. You're yellow. You're wrong.
I'll just set it over here. How's that?
Sounds good. Looks
All
good.
right. Oh shit! I might want something to see. There we go. All right. So
Down.
what?
Down.
What do you mean down?
You got.
You were red.
Okay. All right. So Brad.
Yeah.
I want you to pick a number between 20 and 40.
Okay. I'm showing it to the camera right now.
You fucker. Okay, Justin. I want you to draw a geometric shape. Just a simple geometric shape.
Okay.
All right, Brad.
Yeah.
I want you to write down a color.
Okay.
All right, Justin.
Yeah.
I want you to write down a name.
Any name?
Just a random name.
Okay.
All right, Brad.
Yeah.
I want you to write down a make of a vehicle.
Okay.
You guys suck. I know you're gonna make this fucking impossible for me. All right. All right, Justin. I want you to focus on something in the room and some piece or article or whatever that's in the room that you're in right now, and write that down. What it is that your item that you looked at or you're focused on. Got it?
Yep. We should have only 3 things, right?
Correct. 3 things.
Each.
Oh, I thought there was 5. I answered your question.
All right,
Well,
my
then make a
answers are
difference.
written down. I didn't show you yet, but they're written down.
My answers are also written down.
I'm going to remove my ink pen from the equation here,
You were
so
going
nothing
to.
else can be written.
You're going to get one of mine right. I know that already.
Alligator getting into your mind, right?
Probably not. You guys suck.
It doesn't matter. That's all part of the thing, though. It's-
Yeah, it's
again, I was
testing.
going to attempt.
Yeah.
All right, so because I don't claim to read minds. So, Justin, I started off asking you to draw a simple geometric shape.
Actually, you asked him first.
I know, but I'm going to
Okay.
start with you.
Okay.
I'm going to go in reverse order how I did.
Okay.
So Justin, I asked you to draw a simple geometric shape. What did you draw? And I'm going to tear
I
mine
drew a
up.
prism. Pyramid. Pyramid. I'm returning. What are we doing? What is he doing?
All right, so
What? Am I not supposed to know his answer?
oh, I'm trying
Is
not
he
to-
not supposed to know my answers?
So
I'm
I'm
just showing him mine.
I showed you mine.
so you drew what? You can show me. You drew
A pyramid.
A pyramid. All right,
Or-
so I
Is it a
drew
pyramid? I might be right.
basically an
boot.
L-shaped,
A boot.
kind of object here.
Justin, he drew a boot.
So
Prismy.
I did not
You drew a boot?
obviously draw. Now I wrote down mine before, and I was trying to concentrate and send those vibes through the door into the room, at each one of you, so that you were, putting down the same thing. So, I
I
was
think
trying
the
to.
door blocked it, dog.
Yeah, I probably did. So not
Dude.
obviously not a triangle, right? Not a triangle. All
Oh,
right,
so was a pyramid?
I didn't get it right.
On there.
I didn't send
I
the
heard-
right vibe to
I
you.
heard your brain thinking before it
So
thought.
next, I asked you to write down a name of someone,
Yo,
someone's name.
yo. I
What
got
is that
Bill-
name?
I have Billy Bob Joe.
I have Mike. I guess I should have just said like a first name, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Billy
You guys-
Oh, Billy.
Billy Bob.
Billy
Okay,
Bob.
Billy.
Bob.
So-
Oh, Billy.
I'm 0 for 2. All right. Now, I told you lastly to pick an item, focus on it, and then what did you choose?
I chose the head scratcher.
The what?
The head scratcher.
I chose the Batman mask, only because that was the closest thing too.
I just put
So-
Batman.
And now the only reason, now I'll tell you why I picked your answer, or why I was trying to send these to you. You were closest to the Batman mask, so I was trying to send those vibes of the mask, because it was the thing that you were closest to, and
To
hopes
be
you
fair,
would.
it was one of the first things that came to my mind. But you said I could focus on anything,
And
so I focused in on that. I was like, "Ooh, a head scratcher."
now the shape that I drew here, I simply picked that because it was kind of the layout of the open area in the room here.
That's
Is kind of an L, so I thought maybe, being, I was trying to basically what I was trying to do is see
No.
if I was able to use your subconscious, basically. And then a random name, I said, to write down Mike. That one, I was just, that was like a whimsical hope that you would pick just the most random name, period.
I did. Billy Bob
That's
Joe's
pretty fucking random.
random name, bud.
All right, so
Dude, you gotta remember, I just told you I do names on a weekly
so
basis.
it's safe to say.
I could have completely maimed that if I really wanted.
So it's safe to say I got 0 right.
Yeah.
All right. So Brad,
So I'm gonna just
Okay.
put this out there.
what were your
He
answers?
consciously just stated that he diverted you on purpose. I was going to, but I ended up going with the first thing that popped in my head, just to be a nice guy.
This will be an interesting one then. So, all right, let's go in reverse order here. I asked you to pick a.
I didn't
name.
mean to. I just.
No, I get
looked
it.
at
No,
the
I get it.
cards
I
and
get
was
it.
like,
No, I get it. I'm just throwing that out there, not to like
So-
first thing that just dick.
I asked you to pick a make of a vehicle.
You should have got this one without even fucking having to send me any goddamn thing.
What did you write?
Motherfucking Ford Ranger.
Wait, didn't you do the number first?
Yes, but he said he's gonna do it in
I was
reverse
going to do
order.
it in backwards.
Oh.
I clearly wrote Ford.
Knew that was gonna happen.
I told you to.
You said make and model.
I said make of a vehicle.
Oh, I
So
thought you
make-
said ma-
Oh, it doesn't matter. Ford Ranger is still
So
Ford.
Ford's
All right,
Ford's
so-
Ford.
Next, I asked you
Forward.
to, I asked you to pick a color.
Yep.
What did you pick?
Green.
Okay, we didn't get that one right. I was trying to send you black.
Oh.
Didn't. I was trying to send you black. I figured.
Green.
Oh, see, I went
Green.
black.
I was
because
looking right at it. Ding.
I went black because
I
the
also
microphone.
have the green light.
That makes sense. I didn't think about the green light.
The bright thing.
So, and then I started by asking you to pick a number between 20 and 40. And what did you pick?
33.
No, we're close. 23 is what I had tried to send you as a number.
You missed the first one. We must have been talking or something.
The 23 I was because there was 2 of you in the room, but there's 3 of us in the podcast, so I figured, and and again, I was trying to use nothing more than no, I was
And
just
see,
trying
that's,
to use.
that's where if I would have been in your position, I would have went with more with a number that was more to the person. 33 is how old I am.
That makes sense.
Subconsciously between 20 and 40, the first thing I think of, well, fuck, I'm 33.
Makes sense. Viable for
That's
sure.
fair. That's fair.
And again, that would have been one of those if I was,
Subconscious.
I should have been a little more, intuitive on that, and I could have,
Well, you
projected
did
that.
too generalized. You should have done more specific to that person.
So,
Because you're basically basing it off of that person.
so I
And
got
knowing us
one
the way
out
you
of
do, you should have been able to read us way better than that.
1 out of 6.
Maybe he doesn't know us.
Well,
No,
he doesn't
but
know
there's
you.
also,
Not all.
but at the same accord, this is what I wanted to bring up. At the same accord, your subconscious is almost going to tell you not to pick, that first thing that pops into your head. Your subconscious is going to tell you, no, we're going to make this, got to really challenge and be challenging. To be honest, I really thought he was going to have Maserati written down. Like, when I came out here, I was like, he's going to fucking write down Maserati. And because James ain't going to be able to spell that right now. Maserati. Or something, like that's, but I was like, no, gonna be Ford. It's gonna, and I was trying to Ford.
Motherfucking Ford Ranger.
Yeah, but no, I didn't even think about the whole that thing. No, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking he's not gonna say Chevy because that's
Why?
what he
'Cause I own
drives,
two?
because that would be too obvious of an answer. Then he's gonna think about, and I had a shot of 2 different vehicles, either the Toyota or a Ford. So,
Or a
Why the
Ford.
Toyota?
because it was
The
the only other
Yaris,
vehicle
the
that's like a
Edge, and the Focus.
commonly heard vehicle between us.
That's
So like literally I was trying to use what I kind of knew or what I was hoping or trying to direct, trying to use it, like I said, the mask because you were closest to it.
the one. The
the
only
shape
one.
of the room.
The only thing I
layout.
will give you is the mask, but that is also the only thing that I would also that you would have asked me that I believe that you could have intuitively picked up on.
And that's what I was really trying to do with the whole thing. Was
So that's
trying
kind of
to
why I kind of give you the mask in my book because
So
that
I
is
got-
the first thing in my brain that was like I could do the mask. Or I was like, or I could do something else.
And the
I
pyramid
looked
I
at the
should've-
fucking.
The pyramid I should have been more intuitive with because it goes in line with what a lot of our talks are about, and we've talked about like Egypt and
I didn't even
pyramids.
think about that. I was just like,
I already saw that coming.
I am drawing.
But I drew the layout of the open area in the room just simply because of current visualization.
Well, current visualization for him is more of a
Yeah, more of
rectangle.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. But again, like I said, I was trying to kind of, read your mind by just reading
Reading the room.
essentially.
Yeah.
So.
I think that was fun. Good
But
experience.
I mean, so if I got the mask, it's what one each out of 3,
That's not
You
bad.
got 2.
and that's
Two out of three.
No, you didn't. You failed. You got 1.
I got the Ford.
You got
got
two
the
out
Ford
of
fucking
2 out of
Ranger.
6.
So
2
2
out
out
of
of
6.
6.
You're back.
And you know
it's not
what?
3.
But if you go back and you look at a lot of your oracles, your seers, your future people, like
Yeah, they had the same batting average.
Yeah, exactly. They had so
Actually,
Still.
alive.
so is it really, are there really mind readers out there? Are there some people that maybe are just a little more in tune with their intuitive nature and reading the room and maybe reading people even? you know, there's also ways to lead people into certain things.
No, definitely there.
You know, if I mention a number a whole bunch, I say 3. You know, I keep making reference of 3, you know, all throughout the night, and then I tell you to pick a number between 1 and 10. Chances are, you know, somebody's
You're
gonna
gonna pick 3.
Right.
You know, so, you know, that's why I said I want to believe that there are, but, you know, and I think there are some people that are freakily close to being able to maybe see the future or predict it. But I think a lot of random happenstance, random coincidence, intuitive nature.
The only way that they could actually see into the future is if this thing was a simulation and they were actually just, as they were becoming in tune or whatever, praying to their deity
They
or
got
whatever,
uploaded that new information.
or they accidentally found it while they're trying to explore themselves.
While in that meditative state.
Yep.
Or, you know, maybe those what people do when they get, like, you know, in those drug induced, you know, yeah. That, you know, you're getting more in tune with, you know, your inner self, and maybe
Definitely is definitely a possibility.
so you think, so let me see if I got what you're kind of saying correct here. You know, the whole thing of psychic abilities or telekinesis or the ability to predict or see the future is maybe nothing more than just being really, really, really in tune with the universe.
Correct.
Okay, I got something right today.
Correct. It's being very understanding of the universe.
I think I would agree with that. I think I would agree with that, but I think a large populace of people really hold on to that hope factor a lot. You know, that it's something else.
Arguably, even if it is that, that's still something that we should treasure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you can.
I think we should treasure to the point where it's not just mere sideshows. I think we should take that and invest in that and try to instill that into everybody that we can. Having an understanding of the universe is a great deal of power that we all underestimate.
It's something that's bigger than us. Speaking of which, I mean, this is kind of not on topic, but I mean, if you're talking universe, one of the one of the Japanese moon observatory things that has like this infrared, you know, focused on the moon and everything, actually caught an asteroid smacking into the moon and got to see the big old, like, you know, impact, you know, explosion
cool,
and stuff. Yeah. You know, so I was just, you know, because you said universe, I'm like, oh, hey, that's, you know, random. I'll just throw that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that little clip the other day on. It was, I think it was on CNN. They showed it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool to see.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
So, did we touch on? Everything we needed to jump on the train with today? I don't know if anybody had anything else to.
I think we need to try this wiki.
You know, I wanted to attempt to read everybody's mind. Like I said, I think I did as well as your you know, random run of the mill, you know, person.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we're an hour and a half into her today. I think we actually had a good session today. Let's see. Next week, tomorrow's April Fool's Day, so that'll be interesting. Next week will be what is it gonna be? The first week. It'll be Good Friday, so just before Easter. Let's see. I know with being Easter, I know a lot of people do Easter dinners and stuff. So, if we don't do a podcast, you okay there? Yeah. Right.
He's trying.
If we don't do a podcast next week, it's because, you know, somebody's got something going on with Easter dinner with family or something. But if we do, what do we want to do? It's kind of a holiday weekend, so we can. You know, we can kind of just.
What is it? Jesus Day or whatever?
Jesus Day?
No, I'm saying we can kind of, you know, we can use it as like
we
a.
can talk about how Jesus is an alien again.
No, we can do like a Heinz 57, just kind of, what do we want, you know, talk about anything. You know, doesn't have to be something that follows.
We could do a full in-depth. I'm honestly kind of down with a full in-depth revision of, because we don't have that on there.
What's that?
Jesus is an alien.
Jesus an alien. Let's
Let's
dive into
redo that one.
Let's
Let's
do
go
that.
back to that.
Let's jump into
We
that.
want to have a good old. Let's have an Easter.
Let's break down.
Let's have a
the-
good
the-
old.
the-
We're gonna.
Let's break down the life of Jesus Christ. We just know he's gonna bring up the fact that he's an alien.
So we're gonna go.
We're gonna go back to Jesus. is an
You
alien with
you are
James.
probably gonna go that route.
All right,
Yes.
let's do it.
I am gonna give you the straight up facts that we know about Jesus, because we all know I'm a factual person.
What facts do we know about Jesus?
I know a lot of facts about
All right, so I'm gonna come at it with the alien side. All right, I like this. This is gonna be good because This is gonna be a good one, and I think we're gonna have a fun one. So it'll be a good Friday.
You want to come
for
at it with the
sure.
biblical side?
What?
You want to come at it with the biblical
Do
side?
I have to?
You
I mean,
can.
I can.
You don't have to. Or you could just be here.
I would.
Be like,
Fact checker.
Fuck
Well,
you, I'm not fact checking shit. Do I look
He's-
like I work for Facebook?
kinda.
Oh, that's a dick statement. I
We
thought
all
we were friends.
We all
We are friends. I'm just fucking with you.
we all work for the sucker.
I thought we were friends, man.
Alright,
Works with
so-
the sucker.
So we're
Nothing could pay me any good enough to work for Facebook.
all right. So we are going
Next.
to. What do we want to call next week's the life and times of?
Was Jesus a gray?
He's obviously a beach. No, honestly, he'd be probably a shapeshifter.
I know. Or it could be the fact that
Or doppelganger.
aliens came down and had, you know.
That's what
Tell
they
you
mean by
what.
the
Next
Holy
week.
Ghost. It was the
Next
great-
week's episode.
Hey,
Next week's episode we're gonna call "Beam Me Up, Scotty."
Beam me up, Scotty.
Beam
Let's
me
go.
up, Scotty.
All
Okay.
right, because that's how you get out of a tomb. So, with that being
That's
said,
how you get out of a tomb. Beam me up, Scotty.
With that being said, until
Yo.
next weekend, keep your train on the tracks, your stick on the ice, and as Brad would say,
Burn them if you got them.